Hello and welcome back to the NAWB 2019 Forum. We're coming to you live from the floor of the forum, as you can kind of hear there in the background. I could not be more pleased to have with me Ed DeJesus. He is the president of DeJesus Solutions. He is also the author of the book MAKiN It, The 6 Universal Habits for True Survival and Success. Ed, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Doug? Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, let's talk about, first of all, just say a little bit for people about what you do. What is DeJesus Solutions? What is that about? Tell people a little bit about that.
We're a company that assists workforce organizations in better connecting and serving disconnected young people. So our whole main goal, our mission is no more disconnected youth. So we help programs improve policies, operations, strategies to not only serve young people, but to better connect, to help young people understand why they're in workforce development programs. Not to get a job. It's much more than a job. And helping educate young people about that is our specialty.
That's great. So, and then I did mention that you are the author of the book MAKiN It, The 6 Universal Habits for True Survival and Success. And tell people a little bit about this book, what it's about, and why you wrote it.
Well, I wrote it. I mean, the birth of the book was actually almost 20 years ago when I was a member of the SAR Levitan Youth Policy Network at Johns Hopkins University. And I co-authored a chapter with a lot of workforce development leaders, Marion Pines and Rob Ivory from MDRC and many others. And the book was called Generations of Challenge. And I wrote a chapter in there because the group said we want to find out, how do we serve out-of-school youth? What works? And this is about 20-something years ago. I came up with the idea. Let's speak to young people. You think that's crazy, right?
Right, exactly. What a novel.
So they gave me a small grant to speak to 100 young people, out-of-school youth in the country who went through Job Corps programs, youth build programs. At that time, it was WIA-funded programs about what enabled them to be successful.
Yeah.
And I created the chapter in Generations of Challenge, and you can read it now. It was done in 1997 or 1998.
Wow.
It was called Tales from the Bright Side. And it had all these great strategies in there. And then I saw the publication just sitting on shelves and policymakers' desks. And I said, I got to get this information out to young people.
Yeah.
They need to know the secrets. So 20 years ago, I wrote the first MAKiN It book. And it did extremely well. And programs used it all across the country. Until to this day, many programs are using it. And I said, guess what? A new generation is here. Generation Z.
Right.
And they're facing so many more economic challenges than the previous generations. Industry, technology, the nature of work has changed so dramatically that somebody needs to help Generation Z, those born after 1993, with new strategies. So about 2 years ago, I started working on the new book, and here it is here. It's a guide to help young people navigate their way through environments to ultimate labor market success.
Say a little bit about what do you see as some of the biggest challenges for, you mentioned that, this generation is facing perhaps even greater challenges maybe than the previous. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges that this generation has to overcome?
The biggest one, and I speak about this publicly, is the importance now more than ever of social capital. You cannot apply for jobs that you do not know exist.
Yeah.
You cannot think about training programs that are not even a dream.
Right.
The number one way Americans get jobs is through their social capital, their strong ties or their weak ties. Strong ties are people you know on a first name basis. The weak ties are the people your strong ties know on a first name basis.
Yeah.
And I tell young people all across the country, it's not what you know, it's
who you know.
No,
Absolutely. Not who you know.
No, it's not what you know. It's not who you know. It's who knows you and likes you.
That's true.
That gets you the job.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's so important to help not only young people understand the importance of social capital, but help employers understand that they can they can have their employees share social capital with young people. It doesn't mean giving them a job. It just means sharing labor market information, because it is through that sharing of labor market information that you give young people motivation. Because it's so much easier to pursue a credential when you know somebody on the other side of the labor market who is willing and able to help you put that credential to work.
So this is great. I love it. What brings you, here we are in Washington, D.C., what brings you here to the forum? Why do you attend the forum? Why come here?
Workforce boards need to hear this message.
Yeah.
They need to understand the importance of social capital. They need to understand strategies to help programs and systems help young people develop it. I spoke to, I do a lot of work with youth programs. When I spoke to 40 summer youth employment programs around the country, and I asked, what type of investment do you make in helping young people stay connected to their summer work supervisors? And they said none. Could you think about all that wasted social capital?
Right.
So workforce boards need to see social capital as the missing workforce element.
Yeah.
We talk about financial literacy, which is extremely important. But there's something else that's probably more valuable than money. It's your social capital. And I think every board member would understand the importance of having a will individually to leave their assets to their children.
Yeah.
And just on a personal level, have they ever thought about their social capital assets? Have they developed a strategy to ensure that Ron Painter's children know that he knows Ed DeJesus so that they can spend that social capital when they need it? And if we would say it's important for our children and for us, then it's important for the families and children we work with to help them understand not only the importance and value of social capital. And one thing I want to make clear, social capital is not networking. Networking is an activity. Social capital building is an outcome. And when you look at that outcome, it's 5 things. It's 1, compassion. 1, does Doug have more compassion for me and my goals now than before we met?
Yeah.
Is he willing to provide assistance? Is there some type of exchange of reciprocity? Is there increased trust? And is there an increased flow of information? We can measure those 5 things because we know ultimately connection rates lead to what? Placement rates.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here, to try to share that message with workforce boards all across the country so we can do a better job. We're doing a great job, but do even a better job at connecting young people to the number 1 asset for labor market success.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I want to make sure that people know how. Again, my guest is Ed DeJesus. He is the CEO of DeJesus Solutions, president of DeJesus Solutions, and the book is MAKiN It, 6 Universal Habits for True Survival and Success. If people want to get the book and learn more about you, how can they do that?
Sure. Simple. www.edwarddejesus.com. edwarddejesus.com website. We have all information about MAKiN It as well as our new book that we just released called Summer Job Success. It's a guide to help young people understand that summer job is way more than a paycheck. And one thing we focus on in that book, and it's really important, is that, you know what? When you're in your summer job, you want to get social capital out of that too.
Ed DeJesus, thank you so much. Thanks for coming to the forum. Thanks for the work that you do on behalf of young people. And thanks for joining me here at the podcast zone.
No problem. Live and free.
Thank you.